Hi, this is New Time on Смотрите TV channel. This week, historic diplomatic visits, Kazakhstan's AI revolution, energy debate shaping the future, major international partnership, and unforgettable sport moments. I'm Samigulina. Here is what you will see today. Even closer, this week, leaders from Italy and Hungary came to Astana. What new agreements have they reached this time? Kazakhstan's new AI Council convened top global pioneers. What best practices did they back? OPEC warns energy demand will surge by 2050 and fossil fuels will still lead. Officials debated nuclear, cleaner coal and the country's next move. We begin this week with the official visit of Italian President Sergio Mattarella to Kazakhstan, a visit that elevated relations between the two nations to an entirely new level. The talks produced several cultural milestones: the opening of the first Italian cultural center in Central Asia, a monument to Kazakhstan's poet Abay in Rome, and the street in Astana soon to bear the name of Marco Polo. But alongside culture, Presidents Tokayev and Mattarella also put trade and investment at the center of their discussions. What new doors did the visit open? Our report breaks it down. Italian President Sergio Mattarella is back in Kazakhstan for the second time this year. In fact, relations between the two countries have long been dynamic, and this visit was no exception. Kazakhstan's president described the talks with his Italian counterpart as substantive, setting fresh benchmark in the partnership, from expanded trade and joint investment to cutting-edge cooperation in energy, transport, engineering and digital technologies, including AI.
Italy remains one of Kazakhstan's top 3 trading partners. Our economic cooperation is very dynamic and has tremendous potential for further growth. We welcome Italian plans to further increase its exports to Kazakhstan. Over the past 20 years, Italy has invested up to $7.5 billion into our economy, and there are 250 Italian companies that successfully operate on our market.
But diplomacy here was about more than numbers. Cultural exchange was front and center. In Astana, a street will soon bear the name of Marco Polo. In Rome, the legacy of Abay will be celebrated with a new monument, while the legendary Teatro di San Carlo will bring the opera Abay to the Italian stage. And in Kazakhstan, the first Italian cultural center in Central Asia will open its doors, a milestone that President Mattarella emphasized while recalling President Tokayev's visit to Rome last year.
Your visit to Rome last year marked a crucial milestone in the development of our relations and laid a solid foundation for their further strengthening. These steps make our partnership truly exceptional in every aspect.
However, economic cooperation continues to be the bedrock of this relationship. Over the last 2 decades, Italy has invested $7.5 billion into Kazakhstan, with more than 250 Italian companies already on the ground. According to the CEO of Samruk Kazina, Nurlan Jakupov, partnership now extends far beyond oil and gas, reaching renewables, petrochemicals and power generation. He points to projects with ENI and Астында Energy as examples that not only bring capital but also technology transfer and local training.
Астында is the provider of turbine for Almaty Power Plant 3, which will be a gas-powered power plant. And within the framework of this work, we have signed an agreement during the visit of the Prime Minister of Italy with Астында that will localize up to 20% of the works related to the supply of this turbine to Almaty gas power plant station.
On the global stage, the two presidents raised their voices against rising armed conflicts, stressing that disputes must be settled peacefully and in full respect of the UN Charter. The partnership itself goes far beyond formal agreements, stretching from green energy to digital innovation. Following Giorgia Meloni's visit in May, 2 days meeting with Sergio Mattarella became yet another solid pillar of that bridge. And in this recognition, President Tokayev awarded Italian counterpart the Order of Dostik of First Degree, recognizing his special contribution to the development of bilateral relations. Samigulina, New Time. And speaking of opportunities, Kazakhstan is also looking to carve out a leading role on the global tech stage. Stanford researcher and Google AI expert Peter Norvig believes the country could become a major player in artificial intelligence. Speaking at the International Forum Digital Bridge, he highlighted Kazakhstan's talent and ambition while emphasizing the need for visionary leadership to harness new technologies. Google, he said, is ready to train 1,000 Kazakh specialists in AI. Reflecting this ambition, President Tokayev has proposed rebranding the forum as AI Bridge, a move he says will sharpen its focus, boost international cooperation, and ensure AI serves humanity's progress. From bold statements to breakthrough technologies shaping the future, Yergali Ramazanoglu reports from the heart of Central Asia's largest digital platform.
This is Digital Bridge. Walking around here feels like taking a trip to the future. And the future is, of course, artificial intelligence. Everybody's talking about it and presenting their products that they believe are going to shape the world we'll live in tomorrow. Digital Bridge is one of the biggest technology forums in Central Asia. Think of it as a meeting point where business leaders, startups and governments come together to talk about the newest technologies. Top representatives from over 80 countries gathered in Expo International Exhibition Center in Astana to see what others are doing and put yourself in the spotlight. Among them is a Hong Kong-based startup that has already helped integrate AI into more than 50 leading global companies, from Porsche to Lenovo to Lego. For them, Kazakhstan represents an emerging market full of opportunity, and they see Digital Bridge as the perfect platform to connect.
Everyone is talking about AI, like DeepSeek, ChatGPT, but when we think about how can we adopt AI in our real business and to generate real outcomes, real results, most of people got the last mile problems. Like some companies like us, we are building the real scenarios, products. We are more close to the clients. So yeah, we are here. We are open to any kind of opportunities.
Kazakhstan itself is positioning artificial intelligence at the heart of its national strategy. The government has set an ambitious goal to transform the country into a truly digital economy within 3 years. That means creating a complete digital ecosystem with AI as the driving force.
Жасанды интеллект саласындағы
We have made a historic decision to establish the first research university in the field of artificial intelligence. Today, we are also launching Alem AI, a global hub for ideas and innovation designed to ensure AI technologies are implemented efficiently and ethically. Kazakhstan is ready for any cooperation in this field. We are also planning to launch a second supercomputing cluster. Artificial intelligence must serve only good purposes. The well-being of people comes first.
President Tokayev's message was echoed by Peter Norvig, Google's director of research, who stressed that artificial intelligence should complement, not replace, human capability. He underlined Google's readiness to train thousands of Kazakh professionals in AI skills, building the human capital needed for the digital economy. Another high-profile guest at this year's Digital Bridge was Telegram founder Pavel Durov. He began on a light-hearted note, joking about finding a wife in Kazakhstan, but quickly shifted to more serious ground. Durov revealed plans to establish a dedicated AI laboratory in Kazakhstan, a move seen as both a symbolic and practical step towards positioning the country as a global hub for digital innovation.
AI is this disruptive technology that will change every field of human endeavor. And there are two ways to approach it: with hope or with fear. And after spending countless hours talking with business leaders, government officials, students here in Kazakhstan, I can say with confidence that this country shows hope, optimism, and excitement. And this is the right way to approach AI, because every challenge created by AI can also be solved by AI.
The forum continues through Saturday, but it may be the last under its current name. President Tokayev has proposed a rebrand, AI Bridge, a new name that reflects a new focus and perhaps the start of the next chapter for Central Asia's largest digital platform. Yergali Ramazanulu, Second Pioneer, New Time.
Building on that vision, President Tokayev has officially inaugurated the International Artificial Intelligence Center, AI, described as a factory of ideas and innovation. At the grand opening, he announced plans for a second supercomputer cluster following the unveiling of the first one in July. Already, this powerful machine, according to him, is becoming the backbone of Kazakhstan's AI ecosystem, supporting advanced research, large-scale model training, and secure data infrastructure for students and startups at AI. Officials say it will also cement Kazakhstan's role as a regional hub for artificial intelligence and cloud computing. Yet experts stress that this supercomputer is just one piece of a far bigger ambition, turning Kazakhstan into a fully AI-native nation.
I think you need to zoom out. If you look at President's vision of being an AI nation and the generative nation, the supercomputer is only one component of it. So indeed, we need our own infrastructure, which is this supercomputer cluster that we're building with the AI ministry. That is one key component. The vision of the leadership is to have the infrastructure plus the algorithms, which are solutions and what AI is supporting, plus education and workforce, which is what the recent announcement of the university wanting to train 30,000 students. I think this is a combination of foundation modules that will drive Kazakhstan to become an AI native government, an AI native state. The work that we're doing is to enable it. So we are enabling infrastructure. We have the work that we're doing with AI and our investment into R&D to enable the solutions part of it. And we will continue to work with the Kazakhstan workforce, just like what we've done. We have about 50 staff in our Kazakh office, so that collectively you see the impact of not the supercomputer, but the outcome of applied artificial intelligence that will change the way the Kazakhstan community and organizations will live and work.
Taking the next step this week also saw the inaugural meeting of Kazakhstan's new Council for AI Development in Astana. Established earlier this year, the Council brings together global leaders and pioneers in AI from the United States, the United Kingdom, China, and the UAE. At the session, President Tokayev announced plans to create a specialized research university for AI, a national hub with a special status, with concrete proposals expected from the government by the end of the year. Emphasizing innovation in education, he stated that the old one-size-fits-all model is outdated and Kazakhstan will now adopt individualized learning using AI-driven digital profiles to track students' progress, highlight strengths, and even suggest best-fit careers. To help the workforce adopt a national AI-powered online platform will retrain people for the jobs of tomorrow.
Біздің міндетіміз жұмыссыз.
The main task is to turn the risk of job losses into an opportunity for millions of citizens. This is not just about artificial intelligence. This is about our sovereignty and the future of coming generations. The government will carefully consider all the proposals put forward today. In conclusion, I would like to emphasize that artificial intelligence is the main driving force of the digital economy.
Members of the Council, meanwhile, focus on adoption strategies, infrastructure and human capital, while Kazakhstan's Ministry of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Development has been tasked with implementing these initiatives. An AI bill currently before Parliament will provide the legal and ethical framework for these technologies. Reflecting on these developments, Kai-Fu Li, a member of the Council and tech pioneer, highlighted the critical importance of turning strategy into action.
All the efforts I see are really bringing so much passion and excitement to the young people. I think that's the one thing that's clearly being done right, is that I see in Astana Hub and also the first AI unicorn, all of these news is exactly what it takes to propel the young people forward. I think what is now needed is for a set of AI strategies to be formulated and rolled out and to basically get the government organizations and enterprises, both state-owned and privately owned, to realize and embrace AI, which can help them transform with much greater efficiency. And right now, I think the AI still feels like an app, like a toy, like an ChatGPT. But really, it is a productivity enhancer, and AI agents will become a major addition to the workforce. And I think all the CEOs and ministers need to realize that and need to start the transformation.
Looking ahead, Kazakhstan is set to deploy 40 to 50 AI agents across the public sector by 2027, accelerating its transformation into a fully digital nation. The announcement comes from newly appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Development, Ruslan Madiev, who, following a meeting with President Tokayev, has been tasked with expanding digital infrastructure, integrating AI across the economy and public services, and upgrading government digital platforms. Speaking to the reporter with President Project, Madiev explained that achieving this ambitious goal will require training IT professionals, strengthening international cooperation, and developing large language models specifically for the Kazakh language, key steps in ensuring Kazakhstan's digital future is homegrown, innovative, and globally competitive.
In terms of infrastructure development, we are building up the GPU clusters, supercomputer clusters, because infrastructure is the very important part in AI products development, and it helps us to train the models, to have inference process, and to make fine-tuning of the AI agents. And in commercial sector as well as government sector, there will be more and more AI agents appear for the help of productivity in public sector, for example. There are a number of AI agents are already in operation, and I believe that 40-50 AI agents this year and next year will be available for the public sector.
As Kazakhstan charts its digital and technological future, another critical conversation is unfolding, this time about energy. By 2050, global energy demand will rise by almost a quarter, and oil and gas will still dominate. That forecast from OPEC sets the stage for Kazakhstan's own energy debate, and here is nuclear power and cleaner use of coal the country focuses on. At the Kaz Energy Eurasian Forum in Astana, officials and experts gathered to discuss the country's path forward in meeting rising demand while balancing sustainability. Our reporter brings the details of this event.
I'm here in Astana for Kazakhstan Energy Week 2025, where the city has become a meeting point for the global energy community. Over 1,200 delegates from 50 countries are exchanging ideas on the future of the energy, from sustainability and nuclear power to digital transformation and cooperation. This year, forum also makes 20 years of Kaz Energy, underlining Kazakhstan's role as a driving force in the region's energy landscape.
And that role comes with the big questions about the country's future energy mix. Kazakhstan produces about 90 million tons of oil annually, though only a fifth is refined domestically. Plans are in place to boost this figure to 40 million tons and to expand integrated fuels and petrochemical complexes. But beyond oil, the debate also extends to coal, still a major part of Kazakhstan energy balance, yet one facing pressure from environmental standards and global climate goals.
Right now, coal is available, but no financial institution in the world is willing to finance new coal plants because of the global push for decarbonization. Still, there are technologies that allow coal to be used in a relatively harmless way. If one day financing for such plants with new technologies becomes possible, why not? We would start building them at scale here.
Kazakhstan remains the largest oil producer in Central Asia and an important player on the global market. But today's discussions are centered on how the country will set the new priorities in its energy policy.
Well, Kazakhstan is the largest energy player in Central Asia and has always been kind of the key leader here, always has been. So Kazakhstan has always sort of run ahead, been the example and so forth that's been happening. And it has been quite successful in attracting, world-class operators here. Kazakhstan is, a major producer, major exporter, and in many ways, if you look around at Astana, you're seeing embodied energy in place. All these tall buildings, presidential palace, all this, in many ways, reflects what has been happening in the world of oil for Kazakhstan.
Another direction of development is nuclear power. Kazakhstan not only possesses the world's largest uranium reserves, but is also preparing to build its first nuclear power plant.
We make assessment for each the newcomer countries. For Kazakhstan, we close cooperate with your government agencies like Agency of Atomic Energy. You're already in the phase 2, so IAEA will continue work with you. For the site selection, for the feasibility, for the the cooperation, especially for capacity building through our common efforts. Kazakhstan can be very successful for the development of nuclear power.
Ultimately, the discussions show that for Kazakhstan, energy policy is about much more than oil production or launching a nuclear plant. It is about striking the right balance between sustainable growth and energy security. The forum in Astana has become the very platform where different visions come together in search of a model for the future. Raya Slobek, New Time.
Looking further ahead, Kazakhstan is also planning to nearly double its oil refining capacity by 2040. This follows the government's approval of the concept for the development of the oil refining industry for 2025-2040. To understand how this ambitious strategy will be implemented and assess the current state of the sector, we spoke with Talgat Makuyev, representative of the Ministry of Energy of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Here is a segment of our conversation.
We already have the highest level support from our president of our country, who in his regular messages to the people of Kazakhstan repeats, we have to switch, we need to switch our raw materials based economy to deep refining economy model. We already have needed experience with and unique experience, because last 10 years we expanded our largest refineries in Central Asia. I mean Atyrau refinery, Pavlodar refinery, Shymkent refinery. We will use it to expand oil refining capacity twice, and they will be used first of all complexity index of Nelson. It means high-tech Nelson will be increased from current 10 to at least 12. According to the valuation of foreign experts, if we have higher Nelson of index, our refineries will be competitive on the market. Second, will be used modern fuel, not only fuel, but fuel and the petrochemical configuration of refineries. In this case, we will have flexible technological scheme. Depending on the demand on the market, we will produce more oil products or petrochemical products. And third one, if I reply you detailedly, we will use high-tech technologies, for example, CCR, catalytic continuous reforming, or RFCC, residual fluid catalytic cracking, etc., etc. A lot of high-tech technologies, based on capex-intensive projects. Finally, it will be long-term, attractive assets for any potential investors whose capitalization will increase.
Turning now from Kazakhstan's domestic agenda to the international stage, US President Donald Trump has unveiled a new peace plan for the Gaza Strip, giving Hamas just 3 to 4 days to accept it. The plan calls for an immediate ceasefire, a prisoner exchange between Hamas and Israel, a phased withdrawal of Israeli forces, the disarmament of Hamas, and the creation of a transitional government under international oversight. Arab and Muslim countries have voiced support for Trump's initiative, while the US president warns of a very sad outcome if Hamas rejects the plan, which he says could finally bring an end to the 2-year conflict. So far, Hamas has not been involved in the negotiations, though officials say the group will consider the plan in good faith and respond. Continuing with this topic, Kazakhstan has voiced support for the U.S. peace initiative. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev described the plan as a unique opportunity to resolve the Gaza crisis. The announcement came through a statement by the head of state's press secretary Ruslan Geldibai, who outlined Kazakhstan's position on the U.S. proposal.
Kazakhstan welcomes the comprehensive peace plan of US President Donald Trump aimed at ending the conflict in the Gaza Strip. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev stated that Kazakhstan views this initiative as a unique opportunity and a crucial step toward resolving the situation in the Middle East, strengthening interstate trust and establishing a lasting and just peace in the region.
Meanwhile, Kazakhstan and Hungary are taking their economic partnership to a new level. During the first official visit of Hungarian President Tamás Súlyog to Kazakhstan and the invitation of President Tokayev, the two countries agreed to establish a joint investment fund worth $100 million. Talks at the Akorda Palace were held in both narrow and expanded formats, focusing on trade, investment and broader cooperation. President Tokayev highlighted that nearly 40 Hungarian companies are already operating in Kazakhstan, with total investment exceeding $400 million. Ergali Ramazanov has the full report on how the two countries plan to broaden their cooperation.
Astana and Budapest are strengthening their political ties. In recent years, cooperation has grown through high-level visits and landmark deals. Energy, agriculture, logistics, nuclear power and finance are at the heart of this partnership. The last meeting came this spring in Budapest on the sidelines of the informal summit of the Organization of Turkic States, when President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev sat down with Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Now, all eyes are on today's talks and the fresh agreements they may deliver. This is the first official visit of Tamás Súlyog to Kazakhstan, and Kassym-Jomart Tokayev described it as an important milestone in strengthening bilateral cooperation.
We enjoy very close cooperation with your country in so many areas, and I believe that this trend will be continuously developing because it benefits the interests of both nations and both peoples. So we will be doing our utmost in order to further enhance and deepen our mutual cooperation, either in the political domain or in the economic sphere.
The friendship between our people has deep historical roots. Today, our political relations are already strong and our economic ties are also flourishing. As highlighted earlier at the Digital Bridge 2025 conference on artificial intelligence, the future of our partnership opens up new opportunities. We're planning a wide range of joint projects and initiatives.
Hungary is regarded as one of Kazakhstan's key partners in the European Union. Bilateral trade topped $200 million last year, and the first 8 months of 2025 has already reached nearly $165 million. Kazakhstan's exports to Hungary have quadrupled, driven by polymers, fertilizers and poultry products. Imports from Hungary are led by pharmaceuticals and agricultural machinery. Meanwhile, Hungarian investment in Kazakhstan now exceeds $370 million, with 16 joint projects worth almost $700 million in engineering, agriculture and logistics.
Negotiations are ongoing with several major Hungarian companies. That includes talks for OTP Bank, Hungary's largest financial institution, to enter the Kazakh market. A Hungarian telecommunications and space IT company has also arrived in Kazakhstan, opening discussions with Kazakh Rashsapare, Kazakh Telecom, and even in the defense industry. At the same time, MOL, a leading Hungarian oil and gas firm, is considering a large-scale investments in Kazakhstan gas sector.
And with diplomats confirming that negotiations have concluded, all eyes are now on the Astana International Financial Center, where the signing of a $100 million Kazakh-Hungarian investment fund is expected soon. Cultural and educational ties remain strong as well. President Tokayev highlighted the importance of academic exchanges, noting that every year 250 Kazakh students receive scholarships to study at Hungarian universities. He added that Kazakh institutions are ready to welcome more Hungarian students and researchers. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev also praised President Súlyog's personal contribution to strengthening the partnership, awarding him the Dostik Order, First Class.
достық пен ынтымақтастықты нығайтуға және дамытуға қосқан елеулі үлесі үшін Мажарстанның президенті Тамаш Шуйок бірінші дәрежелі достық орденімен наградталады.
President Suyok thanked Kassym-Jomart Tokayev for the honor, pledging to remain a committed supporter of Kazakh-Hungarian friendship. He also underlined the strength of political ties, steady growth in economic cooperation, and the promising prospects for collaboration in digitalization.
Kazakhstanra mértékadó partnerként tekintünk ebben a
We are closely following Kazakhstan's digital transformation, which is advanced not only in the region, but globally. We see your country as a respected partner in this vital field and look forward to expanding bilateral cooperation. Hungarian-Kazakh relations have enormous potential, and as President of Hungary, I will fully support its realization.
Addressing the media, President Tokayev said the talks also covered pressing regional and global issues. He voiced concern over growing geopolitical tensions and the rise in conflicts worldwide. Both leaders agreed that the disputes must be resolved peacefully and through diplomacy, in line with the United Nations Charter. They also discussed developing international transport corridors and logistics infrastructure.
This year, a direct air link was launched between Shymkent and Budapest. We have now agreed to explore the restoration of flight between our capitals. The talks also focus on the importance of artificial intelligence and digital technologies for the economy. I reaffirmed Kazakhstan's readiness for joint work in this area. In addition, we agreed on new projects in the financial sector. Overall, we are committed to creating favorable conditions for Hungarian companies operating in Kazakhstan. I believe the Intergovernmental Commission on Economic Cooperation at the Business Council should prioritize these issues.
In the end, both sides pledged to deepen cooperation across energy, nuclear power and agriculture, signaling a broader strategic partnership ahead. Yergali Ramazanulu, Tulegan Bisimbayev, New Time.
Looking ahead to regional diplomacy, next Monday, the Organization of Turkic States will hold its Head of State Summit in Gabala, Azerbaijan, with Kazakhstan's President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev also attending. Experts say the meeting will serve as a key platform to discuss political, economic, transport and humanitarian initiatives. A central focus will be on economic cooperation and the development of the Middle Corridor, linking China and Europe through the Caspian, South Caucasus and Central Asia. Analysts also expect discussions on digital transformation, security and regional stability to be high on the agenda. And finally, turning to sports, Kazakhstan witnessed one of the most memorable matches in the history of Kazakh football. Almaty's Kairat Football Club hosted one of the world's strongest teams, Real Madrid. Even though the home side did not win, Kairat delivered a performance that turned the match into a true celebration for the whole country. Here is my colleague Nuray Asılbek with the full story.
Almaty's Kairat played a historic match against Madrid's Real in the second round of the Champions League, where the 36 best teams in Europe compete. For the first time in history, Kazakh club played in Champions League. The match ended 0-5 in favor of Real Madrid, but the debut itself was a landmark moment for the country.
Before the match, we already knew it would be tough. Real Madrid's players are among the best in the world and have won the Champions League 15 times before. Points were very important for them, so they came with their strongest squad. We understood in advance that we could lose by a large margin, but our players gave everything on the field, 100% effort.
Despite the defeat, the match became a major event for Almaty and attracted attention far beyond Kazakhstan. The arrival of Real Madrid caused a real sensation. Fans camped overnight at the airport and near the team hotel, hoping to catch a glimpse of the world's football stars. By match day, the stadium was packed with almost 23,000 spectators, with 1,000 more following the excitement across the country.
The excitement was expected. fans are already been energized after Kairat beat Celtic. During the draw, we knew tough teams would come on our way, but seeing a club like Real Madrid play in Kazakhstan, that was beyond imagination. We saw how emotionally fans experienced the match. We believe these feelings will last until Kairat reaches the group stage of the Champions League.
At the pre-match press conference, Kairat defender Igor Sorokin was asked whether they could keep one of the strongest opponents, Kylian Mbappe. He replied that it will be a team effort and the players would do everything to make him uncomfortable on the field. Despite the on-field challenges, the Spanish team was impressed by Kazakhstan hospitality, noting that Champions League football is for everyone who has the quality as Kairat.
During the press conference, the captain of Real Madrid said that whenever the team travels, they are always greeted warmly and with applause. However, he admitted that upon arriving in Kazakhstan, they had not expected to encounter such remarkable hospitality, and he expressed his gratitude to the fans. This can be perceived as a respect for our fans and a high appreciation expressed by the team's captain.
Almaty welcomed more than 5,000 international visitors for the Champions League's match between two football clubs. Yet here in Astana, the match was followed with no less passion. Fans filled the local halls and open-air spaces, following every move on giant screens. That night, the capital proved it was just as much a part of this Champions League celebration as Almaty.
No words, just emotions. Sharhan was brilliant. His saves really kept us in the game. Without him, the score would have been very different.
Of course, it's a pity how it turned out, but this historic moment gives hope that in the future things will only get better.
Yes, we lost, but still it's not bad. This is history for Kazakhstan.
The very fact that we're in the Champions League is already an achievement. The result was expected, but our guys did great and fought till the end.
There are still 6 games left for Kairat, the closest coming on October 21st, when the team will face Cypriot football team Pafos at home in front of their fans. Nuray Aslbek, New Time.
On the local infrastructure front, Astana's authorities have begun testing runs of the new light rail transit system. This overground metro promises to change the way residents and visitors move across the capital. When will the passengers actually be able to board it? We will have the details in the next segment.
Despite the chill start of the week, Astana had something to celebrate. The city has begun a trial operation of its LRT, a decisive step towards modernizing urban transport. For the first time, the capital will see driverless trains gliding through the city. Over the next months, engineers will be testing every detail, from tracks and stations to power lines, safety systems, and control technology. Staff training and emergency drills are also part of the process, and at the heart of LRT is a high-tech systems.
GO-A4 represents the highest level of rail automation, something many cities strive for when expanding or upgrading their transport networks. It raises efficiency, boosts safety, and makes LRT more competitive. Cities like Singapore, Dubai, and major hubs in China already operate at this level. Now Astana is joining them.
The trials will last at least 6 months. Trains will first run at a lower speeds between 2 stations before gradually covering longer distances. The stage approach guarantees safety and fine-tunes the system before it reaches full capacity. LRT operators are already participating in the testing.
For 7 months, we trained both in Kazakhstan and China. We mastered the theory, practiced emergency responses, and learned how to operate electric trains. Now we're moving to hands-on testing, studying braking, traction, and automatic driving. It is an honor to be part of this project, a step forward for Kazakhstan, and we are proud of the responsibility.
The testing process itself will unfold in 2 phases. First, technical checks like cabling, dimensions, and voltage, and then field trials. Docking with platforms, monitoring safety, and fine-tuning automatic arrivals and departures. Globally, 53 LRT systems are already carrying over 45 million passengers yearly. Astana's own network is set to join them in the upcoming year, ushering into the new era or a fully automated driverless transport for the capital. Almira Amirov, New Time.
That's it for today. You've seen the key stories shaping Kazakhstan and Central Asia this week. For more in-depth reports and special projects, stay with Silk TV channel. Thank you for watching and see you next week.